and it looked like Kennedy Carter has finally broken her silence about this Caitlin Clark situation. Kennedy Carter just jumped out the window and justified an assault on Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA season is only weeks away, and every key free agent has signed except for one, Chennedy Carter. Yes, the same Chennedy Carter who made headlines last June for that infamous shoulder check against Caitlin Clark.
You break down that situation that happened.
Yeah. So, in basketball a little bit, there's things called talking, what you like to call smack or whatever everybody likes to call it.
Yeah.
Plays before things are said, you know, that's a part of basketball.
As Clark gears up for year 2 with rising fame, Carter is left explaining herself online. She insists it was just part of the game, just a small bump. But WNBA teams remain unconvinced. Is this karma? Is it fair? Or is Carter being used as a warning about how to treat the league's newest star? Let's dig in.
You know, Kennedy Carter has always been kind of up against the fence when speaking about this Caitlin Clark situation. We remember when she first got asked about this during a press conference, she stated that she wasn't going to speak on Caitlin Clark. Now, we know months later, she still hasn't spoken on the whole situation. That is until today. Yes, Kennedy Carter finally broken her silence about the Caitlin Clark hip check.
Cast your mind back to June when Chennedy Carter blatantly collided with Caitlin Clark, a moment that would come to define her. It occurred during what should have been a typical regular season game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
Let's examine the sequence frame by frame. After making a shot, Carter suddenly cut across the floor, not to defend, but clearly targeting the unaware Clark. There was no valid basketball reason. The replay captures Carter saying something, locking eyes with Clark, then landing a solid shoulder that knocked the rookie down hard. The intention was obvious.
So she was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and, you know, the rest of the folks. And then we get to the body check. This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's.
What stands out most is how refs at first called it a basic foul, something seen often during games. But after watching the replay, they quickly changed it to a flagrant. The footage speaks for itself. This wasn't accidental contact during a live play. It was a purposeful strike away from the ball after the action had ended.
It's one thing pushing Caitlin Clark, and it's another thing blindsiding her. Like, I don't think there's no justification for that. Like, to be honest, we can be honest here.
Clark's reaction said everything about her mindset. Despite being hit hard and sent to the ground, she stood up calmly, dusted herself off, and kept playing. No theatrics, no revenge, just pure professionalism. Meanwhile, fans and analysts voiced outrage, clearly seeing it not as a basketball play, but as a purposeful act meant to intimidate or injure a fellow athlete.
What little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
This wasn't Chennedy, Carter's first issue on the court. Her past behavior became a hot topic following the Clark incident. Back in 2021 with the Atlanta Dream, she was suspended indefinitely for behavior labeled detrimental to the team after a fiery altercation went too far. That history already raised doubts about her maturity and ability to fit within a team dynamic.
Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles.
Carter's misstep couldn't have come at a worse moment. The WNBA is thriving like never before, breaking records for both attendance and viewers, much of it thanks to Clark's impact. The league is focused on maintaining that momentum and promoting a professional image. Carter's conduct was completely at odds with the direction the WNBA is moving in.
What's crazy about all of this, immediately after that push, this is what she said to the media.
On the play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever
I
score.
answered no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
Later, Carter tried to downplay what had clearly been seen by millions, but the damage was done. That hit wasn't just a foul or a heat-of-the-moment lapse. It was a defining blunder that shifted her from promising talent to a player no one wants. Now that she's finally speaking out, we'll analyze it all. Basketball is a tough, emotional game, but Carter's action went far beyond acceptable limits. The league's reaction makes it clear what values they're committed to upholding.
I said Kennedy Carter wasn't going to make a WNBA roster. And as it sit, April 20th, training camps start for teams in 7 days. Training camp for a majority of the WNBA start April the 27th. Kennedy Carter is not on any WNBA roster. Want to know why? Because it's Kennedy Carter's fault she's not on any WNBA roster.
By ignoring those unwritten rules, Carter may have put her entire future at risk. Now she's trying to reshape her story before her window closes. Just days before training camps open, and still unsigned, she gave an interview to streamer Neon that left the basketball world stunned and unsure what to make of her defense.
I think a play before, maybe I was elbowed. Okay, that happens. Think the next play down, maybe something was said. And then maybe there was like a little clip of somebody like yelling in my face. And then we go down the court. Then I hit like a little bucket, you feel me? Come down, hit like a little nice little mid-range pull-up. And then I just like, just give her like a little like, I'm here. Like, I don't think it was, what's crazy? Me and my brother went back and watched, and we seen a lot of clips in the NBA of guys getting like pushing LeBron. Like I think it was Jeff Teague or somebody who like pushed LeBron out of bounds, like said, man, I was mad because like we couldn't stop him.
Carter's effort to downplay what millions clearly saw is honestly baffling. In her interview, she shrugged off the obvious shoulder check as simple trash talk and a way to show Clark some I'm present energy. What stands out most is how casual her words sound compared to the hard hit that dropped Clark to the floor. The video tells the truth. There was nothing minor or typical about that hit.
She stopped and went through, that is not, we watched the clip. There is no way that we're letting this happen. Saying that it was nothing, this is not just a tap.
Carter's latest attempt to rewrite the story includes a sudden claim that she might have been elbowed just before the contact. Oddly, this convenient excuse was never mentioned before and is completely disproven by replay angles. The footage shows zero evidence of any prior contact, making this last-minute defense fall flat even for casual fans watching.
So I'm just like, it's like one of those things, like it happens in basketball. I know people try to say, oh, it's not one of those things.
It's not a personal thing, it's a competitive thing.
It happens in basketball, and like it's just one of those things. But like, yeah, it's kind of what happened. Then it spiraled out of control.
And then the media takes whatever narrative they want to put
you
out.
watch every game, every single game, to see if you can find any deflects in my game, and like it's really nothing that you probably could say too much about. So then you have trolls, and that's what I said. They're gonna be around regardless. But yeah, it was just like a nice little like tap, like I'm here, not to like harm you or anything. If you want to push somebody, you're gonna like full.
Social media users immediately called out the obvious spin job. One comment summed it up perfectly. You all really buy this? That sarcastic reaction echoed across fan bases online. Basketball forums and accounts everywhere voiced similar doubts, seeing Carter's statements as a weak attempt to fix a damaged public image.
This is crazy, and this changes everything, because all this time we've been waiting on Kennedy Carter to take responsibility for what she did to Caitlin Clark. It shows me, I ain't even got to watch all this footage right here, but I am going to look at it. But it's showing me right now that she still is not taking responsibility for her actions. She's finna blame this whole situation on Caitlin Clark supposedly talking smack to her.
It's hard not to notice the timing. With training camp just around the corner and Carter still without a contract, this interview doesn't feel like truth-telling. It feels like a last-minute PR move. After staying silent for so long, Carter now chooses to speak up as teams are finalizing their lineups. The motive seems fairly clear.
I mean, that happens, man. Like, it's one of those things. I'm a great player. She's a great player. It looks a certain way. Everybody's going to have their views on it. But my personal view is, I don't have anything against her. She's a great player, and so am I. And I've got buckets all that season. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that, I love it though. They think I hate it. I love it. I love when it gets riled up and juicy like that.
You feed off of like what people say and shit, and it makes you more motivated.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Oh yeah, I love the hate. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The most striking part of Carter's image cleanup is how she's flipped her stance on Clark. Not long ago, she downplayed Clark's skills outside of three-point shooting. Now, she's calling her a great player and even drawing comparisons to LeBron James. This sharp turnaround doesn't read as heartfelt. It feels more like an effort to appear mature and sorry, without really owning up to the situation.
This is a bad look, bro. This is her pretty much begging for a team to pick her up. Oh, it's just part of basketball. That's not part of basketball, bro. What you did to Caitlin Clark, you can't justify that assault.
Experts in the sport have noted that Carter's explanation twists the meaning of physicality in pro basketball. One commentator got to the core of it. This wasn't just a dirty play. It posed a risk to the WNBA's biggest rising star and its trajectory. There's a clear line between intense play and targeting someone after the whistle. What Carter still fails to understand is that the real issue isn't just what she did. It's her refusal to sincerely own up to it. By minimizing her role and inventing excuses, she's reinforcing the exact doubts, keeping teams from offering her a deal.
Kennedy Carter just jumped out the window and justified an assault on Caitlin Clark.
Ironically, the interview has backfired entirely. Rather than repairing her reputation, it has solidified the view that Carter avoids, taking responsibility and maybe a risky teammate. Carter's never lacked skill. She's proven she can score at an elite level. But talent alone isn't enough when red flags about reliability and chemistry loom so large. Basketball is a sport where trust is everything. When someone shows they'll target a rival star with a reckless act and then deny blame long after, it calls into question how they'll behave in a locker room. Her image shift only highlights why others have contracts, and she doesn't.
Her actions prove that no team is willing to bet their luck on her. Now, granted, she's a dominant scorer, excellent basketball player in certain aspects of the game, but her behavior on and off the court is making it look real shady for her to get picked up by a team.
Basketball culture has a silent code, one that separates fierce play from disruptive behavior. And at this moment, Carter finds herself in a rare WNBA situation. Despite the league's constant hunger for offensive threats, she remains without a team even after averaging 17.5 points per game last season. With training camps right around the corner, that silence from front offices says everything about how they truly view what went down.
There has not been a peep about anywhere that she could be landing in this free agency. So a lot of people, including myself, are wondering, is she worth the risk now?
One major sign of trouble is the Chicago Sky's move not to extend even a qualifying offer to Carter. Just think about that. They allowed their top scorer to leave for nothing, without seeking a trade or a return. In pro basketball, teams don't willingly part ways with high-level scorers unless they're dealing with deeper, more serious problems that outweigh the player's production on the court.
I mean, she can score. She can score with the lights out. I mean, she can She's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard. An instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team? I wouldn't.
When asked about the choice, Sky General manager Jeff Pagliacca offered a careful answer, citing roster and staff changes that impacted Carter's future with the team, sounding like they were helping her explore better options. But behind the PR speak, reports suggest intense locker room discord and concerns that Carter was harming team unity. The harshest view comes from one unnamed WNBA exec who didn't hold back, saying, "I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole." That blunt take shows how far Carter's image has fallen. When league insiders make such comments, even anonymously, it means her reputation isn't just divisive, it's toxic.
I mean, good luck. Good luck. I don't know who's going to take her. I don't know what teams are going to take her. No, I don't think she's going to the Indiana Fever. I mean, yeah, bring her in after what happened. I don't think so.
The concerns about Carter go beyond just her incident with Clark. Teams are cautious about how her presence could affect their chances of landing or keeping key free agents. In the modern WNBA, where roster strategies are more advanced than ever, no organization wants to gamble on a player who might upset chemistry or scare away top-tier talent. This all comes at a time when the league is hitting new heights. Broadcast deals are growing, sponsor interest is booming, and fans are tuning in like never before. Sources say the WNBA may introduce tougher discipline rules in direct response to situations like Carter's. The league's stance is obvious. They'll do whatever it takes to protect their rising profile and star players.
Come on, cheer for your teammates, be a part of this team, and then ensues an altercation between the two where Kennedy Carter was sent to the locker room mid-game, of which afterwards, after the game, this is what has been reported. I guess Kennedy Carter wanted to fight Courtney Williams, like physically fight Courtney Williams, who backed away from this and was like, no way. So there was no actual physical altercation that happened.
Carter's case stands apart from others who've gotten another shot after controversy. What she's facing is a rare mix of problems. You have a high-profile victim, a refusal to fully take ownership, a track record of past trouble dating to her Atlanta Dream suspension, and all this happening while the league is expanding its reach. Some players do bounce back, but they usually show real remorse and growth. What's most shocking here isn't that Carter lacks a contract. It's the total lack of interest. None of the league's 12 teams have even hinted at trying her out. No workouts, no camp invites, not even rumors. That silence speaks volumes. This isn't just discipline over one play. It's a league-wide call on who she is off the court.
To an extent, like you can criticize, especially on the court, when somebody 100% cheap shots your favorite player. Like, there's a level of going at. We all know with Kennedy Carter it went way too far. Like, we can be honest here, it did go way too far with Kennedy.
Those running teams know well that raw talent doesn't win titles by itself. Teamwork, unity, and locker room dynamics matter just as much, especially in a game where 5 players must act as one. Carter's downfall highlights how quickly things can fall apart when a player is viewed as a risk to team culture. As the NBA gets set for what might be its biggest season ever, the contrast couldn't be clearer. On one side, Clark is driving the league's momentum. On the other, Carter remains noticeably absent. Her absence proves that the league values professionalism and teamwork more than scoring averages. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Kennedy Carter should still be without a team? Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss a beat. Tap the video next up, and we'll catch you there.